I'm so into real love. I don't even know what the topic of this video is, but let's talk about why authenticity is important in leadership. If you want to create real love, real trust, real connection, then stay until the end, and I'm going to talk about what you can start doing right now to create those things. Kelly, I'm going to kick it to you because I feel like when it comes to setting culture and creating this air of authenticity within an organization, I think you model this extremely well. Do you mind talking about it?
Yes, I love that we get to do this amongst our team because authenticity is one of our core values that is a foundational part of our organization. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's key because we get to share just bits and pieces of who we are, and it fosters an environment of openness and connection and community, and it's okay to just be yourself. It's okay to be quirky, or it's okay to just be true to you. And one example of this that stood out recently is when we hosted our company Christmas party, our holiday party, I should say. And we did a digital show and tell where because we are a virtual team, we're all over the world, literally. We got to upload our favorite pictures of our dog or something that we're super proud of, our workspace, because we never are in each other's workspaces. Right. And so it was really great. And I just feel like it was a jolt of energy that our team needed. And it helps us work together closer as a team.
Yes. Tell me about this idea of psychological safety, because I know that's something that's important to you as well.
Yeah, I've been in toxic work environments before where authenticity wasn't celebrated, and it was kind of like we definitely didn't connect authentically as a team, and it just is it's a barrier between you and your team member, and it slows down productivity, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So when we are open, and I do see that my leader is a mom and she enjoys spending time with her kids and her husband, and she loves hiking. It just helps me to feel safe to be myself and safe to make mistakes. And I think that's key. We should all feel like we can make mistakes at work. It's not the end of the world. We learn and grow from them, and we move forward.
That's so true.
I love it. Cheryl, what about you? When you think about authenticity and leadership, what comes to mind?
So for me, it really has everything to do with trust. So the trust factor in that particular, with those three components, trust is at like an all-time high. Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, it's a matter of, getting to know each other better, understanding who you can trust and who you can lean on. I'm going to bring a story up that, so I was working with a healthcare company, this is years ago, and we were one of the larger regional healthcare companies, and we were working on a fairly large deal. It was a multi-million-dollar deal. And we had about 20 people in a meeting. We were touring for the facility and doing all the things you do, the show, right? Right. And so one of the decision makers, the key decision maker, was asking a question. She asked it several different ways. And I kept hearing the same question, and I heard our mouthpieces just saying, whatever it is, we're trying to work through it. And I finally just stepped up and said, can we just stop for 1 second? I think she needs the answer to this question and she's not hearing it. Mm-hmm. And then one of the operations managers said, our system's broken. Mm-hmm. That particular piece of the system is broken.
Oh, so it wasn't that they didn't know the answer. They were avoiding saying
there was a manual piece of the system, and they knew that the manual component was not a solution.
Right.
And they were trying to tap dance around it, so to speak.
Right.
And she knew it. She's very, very savvy buyer.
Yeah.
And from then on, our relationship was completely different.
Wow.
I literally had access to her in a different way, because when people know that you're looking out for them, that's key.
Right.
When they understand that you're going to step up and you're going to make decisions for them when they're not around, it's really important. So that trust factor is huge right now.
Yeah. And how I feel like that perfectly ties to authenticity is consistency builds trust. The only way you can be consistent is to be true to who you are. When we fight our natural behaviors, that's when you see inconsistency in people. And you're like, every time I interact with you, something's off.
Or different.
Right? Yeah, something's different. I don't feel like I really know you. We've done this in interviews. So we've interviewed candidates where, and to your point, Kelly, because authenticity is a core value. If you interview and you're inconsistent, if I don't feel like I really have a feel for you, I'm not going to hire you. But I also know that a lot of corporations or people who've been in corporate careers, there's been this assimilation, right? We call it the corporate trauma, the corporate BS is really what we call it, right? And so we also know, okay, some people just come from that environment. Yeah. And so in final interviews, I've stopped candidates and I've said, I still don't feel like I've seen you. I want to pause and give you the opportunity. We value authenticity. What is it that you really want? Yeah. What are your goals? If you were to stop saying what you think I want to hear for a moment, tell me really who you are. And we've had candidates who have changed and shifted, and then I've been like, that's who I want. Like, take the mask off, that's who I want to work with, because that, it just creates distrust. I know for myself, we were having this conversation late last night, I'm like, and I think sometimes people say when you get older, you get to that point, it's like, I want to have great relationships. And I think about, this reminds me of a journal entry I wrote years ago about, if I want people to love me unconditionally, then I need to show them my conditions. Like I need you to see who I really am. So going back to our Mary J. Blige, real love. Like if I want a culture of belonging, and if I want a culture of connection, then I have to show people who I really am, so that I can trust that they're really accepting me. And as the leader of the organization, I have to model that so everyone feels that safety. And when we look at the state of our world today, this post-pandemic, mid-pandemic, whatever you want to call it, all the data supporting the fact that this is actually, it's no longer optional, but it is an imperative for business. Right now, starting right now, you need to focus on how your organization can model authenticity through your leadership. Why? Most organizations are concerned about the tight labor market, right? There's this war for talent, if you will, but all of the data shows that when there are visible leaders, when we personally brand our leaders, when people know of the Elon Musk, or when they know of the Jeff Bezos, I have a greater affinity, I have a greater desire to want to work for that brand, because I see how those leaders show up, right? And a lot of them are polarizing, right? If I bring up some of these leaders, some people are gonna say, oh my God, I love Elon, and some are like, what is he doing, right? But that's what that authenticity does. It attracts people to you. So we think about the war for talent. That's a solution to that. When we talk about, the market and the economy, consumers have a greater affinity for brands where the leaders show up authentically as well. I think of Ben & Jerry's. I'll never forget that. I don't even care about ice cream that much because I am lactose intolerant. I don't have no business eating ice cream. But I will never forget when George Floyd was murdered and I went to the grocery store and I saw Black Lives Matter on that Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And I was like, I will be buying this. Yeah. I'm right. And
somebody's gonna eat it.
Yes.
Somebody's eating this ice cream. So starting right now, I want you to think about what authenticity means for you and how you can create a culture where your leaders show up authentically. I think it is an extreme business imperative in today's age. When I first left corporate America, my first mentor, my speaking coach, he is the first person who introduced me to the concept of how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so how we show up in corporate America as leaders is oftentimes how we might be showing up as parents, as leaders. And I know for myself in my therapy work, in my personal evolution, I know the trigger for me is rejection, right? And so there are so many things that will trigger my rejection and then bring out the worst in me. And so in being authentic with the team, I know we had this conversation the other night and was talking about how certain things might hurt me or how I might respond, and just being real about the team and how I show up. And there are times that I question if being my true self is good leadership. Right? And there are times that I'm like, oh, I wish I was other than myself. I wish I didn't care about these things emotionally. I wish sometimes when I talk about certain subjects that it didn't make me want to cry. Should I hide my tears, right? But on the other side, I'm so thankful for our team. And I think that we wouldn't have the deep connection we have if I didn't show up, if I didn't tell you guys, this is really what you're going to get when you work with me, right? Like, so like I'm going to show you that So I think for each of you listening, starting right now, I want you to identify what is one area of your life that you know that you're showing up inauthentically as a leader. It might be as a parent, it might be as a friend, it might be in your role, but I challenge you to choose one thing that you can do to show up more authentically in those relationships or those environments. Leadership is everything, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. So click on the next video and let's dive deeper into this topic, especially as it pertains to resilience. Click it, click it, click it, click it, click, 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 click.